Hey guys, settle into the quiet of wherever you are right now. Let the world soften around the edges. Tonight, we're exploring one of the strangest, most beautiful ideas the universe has ever whispered to us. Schrödinger's cat. A thought experiment so odd, so playful, and so quietly profound that it changed our understanding of reality forever. You don't need to know physics. You don't need to understand equations. You just need to imagine and drift and let this story of possibilities carry you gently into the night. Quantum physics isn't loud or chaotic. It's soft, subtle, almost shy, like reality whispering secrets behind the curtains. And at the heart of it all is a cat that is both asleep and awake, both here and not here, a creature living in the space between what is and what might be. Don't worry, the cat is imaginary. No actual cats were placed in boxes, although if someone tried, the cat would probably sit on the box instead. That's just science. So, take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's slip into a world where reality becomes gentle, flexible, and full of possibility. This is Pi, Schrödinger's cat, and the sound of possibility. Imagine a small, quiet room. Nothing special, nothing dramatic, just a still corner of space, where time seems to slow down. Inside that room sits a box, closed, silent, perfectly ordinary, and inside that box is a cat. Not a real cat. A cat made of imagination, physics, and one scientist's attempt to show the world just how strange the universe can be. Erwin Schrödinger created this cat, not because he disliked cats, but because he loved clarity. He wanted to show that quantum physics, when stretched into the world we can touch, becomes beautifully absurd. In the quantum world, things don't behave the way we expect. Particles can be in two places at once. They can spin left and right simultaneously. They can exist in clouds of probability, instead of solid definite states. Schrödinger wondered, what would happen if we applied that same strange rule to something as familiar as a cat? His answer was a quiet cosmic joke that echoed across decades. Inside the box, the cat is linked to a quantum event, something tiny and uncertain. If the event happens, the cat is dead. If it doesn't, the cat is alive. But until someone opens the box, quantum physics says the cat is both, a soft paradox, a quiet impossibility, a creature living in the gentle fog between two realities. The beauty of Schrödinger's cat isn't the cat. It's the not knowing, the possibility, the way the universe holds two truths in one moment and waits for us to look before choosing a path. It's a story about uncertainty, but somehow feels peaceful, as if the universe is telling us it's okay not to have all the answers. Before we open the box, let's slip into the quantum world itself, a place quieter than silence and stranger than dreams. Here, nothing is fixed, nothing is certain. Everything exists as a blur of maybes. A particle might be here, or there, or both, or neither. It's like the universe hasn't made up its mind yet. Physicists call this the superposition, the state of being many things at once, until something forces a decision. In a way, superposition is the universe's version of hitting the snooze button. Not yet, it whispers. I'm still deciding. This fog of possibility isn't chaotic. It's delicate, peaceful, almost meditative. Everything in the quantum world is gentle, potential energy, waiting to take shape. If reality had a heartbeat, this is where it would slow down, soften, and dissolve into the sound of infinite possibilities humming in the dark. And somewhere, inside that haze, is the imaginary cat, resting quietly between two states, like a dream that hasn't chosen its ending. Now imagine your hand, reaching toward the box, not hurried, not anxious, just a slow, calm motion, guided by curiosity rather than fear. In the quantum world, observation is everything. The very act of looking, of measuring, of paying attention, changes reality. This is called collapse, when a cloud of possibilities suddenly chooses one form, and the moment we observe it. It's like asking the universe a question and having it answer only when you're listening. Before the box is opened, the cat is both alive and dead. After the box is opened, the cat becomes one of those things. Your attention gives shape to the universe. Isn't that strangely comforting? The idea that simply by observing, you help reality decide what it wants to be. It means your awareness has weight. Your presence has influence. You are not drifting through the universe unnoticed. You are participating in its unfolding. The moment you look, the universe looks back. Superposition isn't just a scientific idea. It's a feeling you already know. It's the quiet pause before you make a decision. It's the breath you take before you speak. It's the still moment in bed before you drift into sleep, when your thoughts exist in many forms at once. Your mind enters its own superposition, memories mixing with dreams, ideas dissolving into stillness, emotions softening into a warm, peaceful blend. You've lived Schrödinger's cat every time you've hesitated, every time you've said, "I'm not sure yet," every time a part of you existed between yes and no. We call it being human. Quantum physics calls it possibility, and inside that possibility is something beautiful. The reminder that you don't need to rush. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to choose immediately. Even reality takes its time. Even the universe enjoys the pause. Even Schrödinger's imaginary cat lingered in uncertainty for as long as it needed. You're allowed to do the same. There's something wonderfully comforting hidden inside Schrödinger's strange experiment. The idea that the universe waits. It doesn't rush. It doesn't panic. It doesn't push you into a choice. Instead, it sits quietly, holding every possibility open until you're ready to observe, ready to decide, ready to step forward. The universe is patient in a way we humans rarely allow ourselves to be. If reality can pause in the state of infinite maybe, then it's okay for you to pause too. Sometimes you aren't ready to open the metaphorical box in your life, to face a decision, to confront a change, to define something uncertain. And that's all right. The quantum world reminds you that readiness isn't a race. Possibility isn't a countdown. And the outcomes of your life don't need to collapse until you're ready to look. Some people worry that Schrödinger's cat represents stress, that it's about anxiety, about waiting for a result. But quantum physics is softer than that. It's not about pressure. It's about potential. Your life is full of moments where you're living between states, between questions and answers, between endings and beginnings, between the person you were and the person you're becoming. And the universe holds those moments with the same gentle stillness as the cat in the box. Not rushed, not forced, just perfectly suspended in the sound possibility. Let's return to that quiet little box, not to check on the cat, our imaginary friend is fine, but to understand something deeper. The box isn't just a container, it's a symbol. It represents every unknown in your life, every unopened message, every unspoken conversation, every dream you haven't explored yet. It's the feeling of, what if? Quantum physics tells us that inside every what if, there are multiple versions of your future waiting to unfold. Some futures are quiet and gentle, some are bright and exciting, some are unexpected, the kind where your life takes a turn you never saw coming. But they all exist the moment you imagine them. Possibility is a landscape inside you, sprawling, shifting, endless. And just like the cat, your dreams exist in superposition until you bring your attention to them. There's something poetic about looking at a sealed box and knowing it contains all your potential paths. It's not about whether the cat is alive or dead. It's about whether you're ready to open the lid. And like any sensible cat, the universe isn't offended if you want to wait a little longer. The quantum world is tiny, but that doesn't stop it from being wonderful, wild, and quietly humorous. Particles behave like they have no idea what they want in life. One moment they act like a solid object, the next they smear themselves across space like a cosmic finger painting. They pop in and out of existence. They borrow energy from nowhere and give it back before anyone notices. They teleport information like tiny wizards. And of course, they refuse to pick a single state until you observe them. They are indecisive in the most charming way possible. If particles had personalities, they'd be the kind of friends who say, "I'm on my way," but are actually still in the shower. Quantum mechanics looks chaotic, but it isn't. Deep beneath the randomness, there is order, a delicate harmony that allows the universe to exist. The chaos has a rhythm, a softness, a quiet intelligence. It's the kind of complexity that feels oddly soothing, like listening to rain fall in patterns. You don't need to understand to appreciate. And somewhere in that quiet chaos is Schrödinger's cat, resting peacefully with all the patience of a creature who knows the universe is stranger and gentler than it looks. You may not realize it, but you spend much of your life in your own version of superposition. The moment before you answer a message, the pause before you say yes or no, the breath before you take a leap, the silence before you share your feelings. In those moments, multiple futures exist at once. You haven't chosen yet. You haven't collapsed the wave. You're Schrödinger's cat, curled up between possibilities. And here's the peaceful part. You don't have to collapse the wave immediately. You are allowed to rest in that space of uncertainty, to breathe in the not knowing, to sit in the softness between decision and action. Even your dreams begin in a state of superposition, a drifting blend of memory, imagination, emotion, and silence that gently settles into whatever story your brain creates. You are more quantum than you think. Sometimes the most meaningful parts of life aren't the answers, but the quiet spaces between them. Schrödinger's cat was never meant to be real. It wasn't designed to frighten or shock or confuse. It was created to teach, not through lectures, but through a story, a simple image that invited people to wonder, And isn't it beautiful how a story about a cat in a box became one of the most profound lessons in all of physics? It reminds us that reality is flexible, that uncertainty is natural, that possibility is powerful, and that sometimes the deepest truths come wrapped in the gentlest metaphors. The cat also teaches something subtle, that even when things seem uncertain, there is structure beneath the unknown. Possibility isn't emptiness, it's potential. The box isn't a place of fear, it's a cradle of creation. Inside it, anything can happen, and nothing has to happen until the moment is right. Maybe that's why the cat has become so famous, because it represents something every human has felt. The moment before the future arrives. There is a quiet secret hidden in quantum physics. The universe waits for you to look before it finalizes certain realities. This isn't magic. It isn't superstition. It's simply how nature behaves at the smallest scales. Before you observe, particles exist as clouds of potential, a shimmering blur of all the places they could be. After you observe, they settle into one place, as if finally making a decision. This is the heart of Schrödinger's cat. Reality is not fixed until attention touches it. Think about how gentle that idea is. Your awareness doesn't just witness the universe, it stabilizes it, shapes it, coaxes it into being. Every time you notice something, every time you pay attention, you help the universe choose one version of itself. Light behaves differently when you watch it. Particles choose paths when you observe them. Even atoms align when they sense your measurement. In a soft, poetic way, your presence is part of creation. You aren't drifting through life unnoticed. You are one of the forces helping reality unfold. And just like the cat, your future contains many overlapping possibilities until the moment you turn your attention toward it. You aren't late, you're just in superposition. There are days when you feel split. One part of you wants to move forward, another wants to hold back. One part wants to rest, another wants to rise. One part feels confident, another part quietly doubts. You feel torn between yes and no, between stay and go, between I should and maybe not today. People call this confusion. Quantum physics calls it coexisting states. Schrödinger's cat would understand. After all, it became famous for existing in two states at once. And just like the cat, your inner world is allowed to hold contradictions. You can be tired and hopeful, happy and uncertain, brave and nervous, content and still searching. Human emotions are quantum in their own gentle way. They don't collapse cleanly into one state or another. They drift, blend, mix, and coexist. And that's okay. Being human means being a soft superposition of many truths at once. You are not wrong for feeling more than one thing. You are not broken for holding conflicting emotions. You are simply beautifully quantum. The quantum world is full of gentle cosmic jokes, the kind only the universe could write. For example, particles can tunnel through barriers they shouldn't be able to cross. It's as if they look at walls and say, or I could just go through. Electrons orbit in clouds because they can't decide on a single path. It's the cosmic equivalent of being indecisive about dinner. Photons behave like particles and waves, depending on who's watching. The universe literally changes its form based on whether it feels observed. Even atoms, the building blocks of everything, can be entangled so deeply that what happens to one immediately affects another, even across galaxies. If atoms had emotions, they would be the most dramatic creatures in existence. Schrödinger's cat fits perfectly into this softly absurd universe. It is a reminder that reality is cleverer and subtler than our expectations. The humour doesn't break the mystery. It enriches it, like a smile in the middle of a deep thought. It reminds us that the universe is not rigid or cold. It's playful, creative, comfortably strange, and in that strangeness is a softness that makes existence feel a little lighter. Now close your eyes for a moment and feel the difference between waking and dreaming. Dreams blur boundaries, time bends, places shift, people appear and disappear, objects transform. It is a world where multiple realities coexist peacefully inside your mind. Sound familiar? Dreams operate exactly like the quantum world, not fixed, not definite, not forced, just drifting possibilities, choosing form moment by moment. In your dreams, you can be in two places at once. You can be both certain and uncertain. You can hold memories that don't exist and meet people who never lived. Your mind becomes its own Schrödinger's box, creating worlds that feel real and unreal at the same time. Dreams and quantum mechanics share the same quiet rule. Reality is not a single path. It is a cloud of possibilities, waiting for you to experience it. And as you drift towards sleep tonight, your mind will slip into that beautiful quantum-like state where imagination becomes real in the softest way. Schrödinger's cat would feel right at home there, stretching, yawning, and existing in all the dream world maybe and of once. And once. People often fear uncertainty. They want answers, clarity, solid ground. But quantum physics teaches that uncertainty is not a flaw. It's the foundation of everything. If particles weren't uncertain, atoms couldn't form. If atoms couldn't form, stars couldn't shine. If stars couldn't shine, if stars couldn't shine, life couldn't exist. Your existence depends on uncertainty. The unknown is not something to escape. It is something you were born from. Think of it this way. Before someone opens a box, anything is possible. Before you make a choice, any future can unfold. Uncertainty is freedom, disguised as fog. It is possibility, wrapped in silence. You don't need to fear the unknown. You are made of it. Everything you love, everything you dream of, everything you are exists because the universe decided to embrace uncertainty instead of forcing one version of itself. Schrödinger's cat isn't a story about fear. It's a story about potential. The quiet comfort of not having to decide before you're ready. There is a special kind of silence that appears right before something happens, not the silence of emptiness, but the silence of potential. You felt it before. The pause before you open a message from someone important. The breath before you say something honest. The stillness just before you drift into sleep. It is the same silence that exists inside Schrödinger's box, a silence full of futures all waiting quietly to be chosen. Quantum physics has a word for this: superposition. But humans simply call it the moment before the moment. It's that gentle space where nothing is decided, yet everything is possible. And the older you get, the more you realize how many moments like this your life contains. The moment before forgiveness, the moment before courage, the moment before change, the moment before carriage, the moment before clarity, the moment before rest. These moments are not empty. They are sacred. You may not see it, but your entire life is built from these tiny pauses, the quiet breaths that shape your future long before the action begins. The cat in the box isn't about physics or paradox. It's about recognizing the beauty of that pause, the beauty of possibility held gently in the hands of time. The quantum world behaves differently when someone pays attention to it, not in a mystical way, but in a deeply physical, mathematically precise way. Your attention changes the outcome. Your observation makes the universe choose. Your awareness is a tiny force that helps shape reality. This idea has always fascinated people, but it shouldn't surprise you, because even in ordinary life, your attention shapes everything. When you listen to someone with real presence, they soften, they open, they trust, they feel understood. When you pay attention to your breath, your body relaxes, your heartbeat slows, your shoulders fall away from the weight of the day. And when you pay attention to something you care about, it grows. Where attention goes, life flows. Quantum physics is simply the microscopic version of this truth. Observation is participation. In your life, just like in Schrödinger's experiment, your awareness is the moment the world becomes real. It's incredibly gentle, incredibly human, incredibly cosmic. You are not separate from the universe. You observe. You are part of the dance. Right now, as you lie here listening, there are many versions of your future that could unfold. Some are simple, some are wild, some are quiet, some are quiet, some are unexpected. You don't see them, but they exist. In the soft fog of tomorrow's possibilities. This isn't fantasy. This is how the universe works. In the quantum world, particles don't choose their path until the moment demands it. They wander through multiple possible futures until one aligns with observation. Your life is not so different. You don't need to know exactly where you're going. You don't need to predict every outcome. You don't need to rush toward a single destiny. You are allowed to drift gently through the fog of what might be. You are allowed to change direction without guilt. You are allowed to be a soft paradox, both becoming and voyage, resting at the same time. Right? Both Schrödinger's cat isn't stuck between states. It is simply waiting for the right moment to become one of them. And so are you. Some people think that uncertainty is unsettling. But if you listen closely, really closely, you'll notice something peaceful in the unknown. Uncertainty means your story isn't finished. It means tomorrow has room to surprise you. It means mistakes can be undone, paths can shift, healing can happen, and new beginnings can appear softly out of nowhere. Quantum physics is a map of hope, a reminder that nothing is fixed until the moment arrives. The cat might be alive, the future might be kind, the moment might turn beautiful. You don't need certainty to feel safe. You just need possibility, and possibility is always with you. Quiet, gentle, patient. The universe doesn't demand that you know everything. It only asks that you stay open to the unknown. That's where the magic lives. That's where the healing lives. That's where the future unfolds. Even in all its complexity, Schenking reproduates the South fully in nærens but the general like in the fall. Lum from this was merged would be a rhymed but you will add your needs come with the start. Superposition suggests multiple states at once, something you experience every time you say, I'm fine, but are actually 3 different emotions softly layered together. And of course, Schrödinger's cat became famous for being both alive and dead. A paradox that every student of physics has lovingly complained about. The universe didn't mean to confuse anyone. It simply meant to remind us that reality is flexible, soft at the edges, and full of gentle contradictions. You don't need to understand it all. You only need to feel the quiet smile hidden in the mystery. As night deepens and your breath grows slower, you are gently entering your own version of wave function collapse, not in a sudden dramatic way, but in a slow, peaceful drifting from many thoughts into one feeling, rest. Your mind moves from superposition, many possibilities, many emotions, many threads, into a single quiet state, sleep. This is your nightly opening of Schrödinger's box. All the swirling maybes your nighty pudsharadox merges during such dodok through the tangled thoughts if mobilities become soft. All the tangled thoughts to merge into a single, calm, gentle truth. You are safe now. You are resting. You are exactly where you need to be. The universe collapses possibility into being when it is observed. You collapse your day into peace when you close your eyes. The cat rests between realities. You rest between waking and dreaming. The universe waits for your awareness. Your dreams wait for your surrender. And now you are drifting gently into the softest state the mind can hold. And now the box closes softly. The cat settles into silence, and all the possibilities of the day fade into the gentle darkness around you. There's nothing left to decide, nothing left to observe, nothing left to observe, nothing left to solve. You can let the universe choose its path while you let go of yours. Feel your breath slow. Feel your body sink. Feel your mind soften into its own quiet superposition. Not awake, not dreaming, just resting in the peaceful space between. The universe waits for you. Your dreams wait for you. And sleep is already beginning to open its door. Close your eyes and let the sound of possibility carry you into the calm where everything is soft and quiet and beautifully uncertain. Good night, and drift gently into the universe within you.